Welcome to today's social media marketing class, volume number 2, talking about the game plan. And I love this class just because what this class is designed for is to basically go over what type of content or ideas for content to have, because I know that's the biggest challenge when it comes to social media is what type of things to post, how often should you post, to be consistent, because consistency is key, things like that. So let's get started. By the way, I do encourage everybody to ask questions. So if I do go over something too quickly, feel free to write it either in the chat box or the Q&A box. I'll be more than happy to go over that with you. And also, I'll be, more than happy to reread the question, answer it hopefully, and then we can continue on. We are also recording today's webinar. Everybody attending today will get a copy of today's webinar, if not today, hopefully by tomorrow. And of course, everybody will also get a copy of the presentation that we're going over today. So I know that's something that agents always ask, can I get a copy of your presentation? Sure can. What we'll do is we'll send you the link and you can click on it, and then you'll be able to download both the presentations that were done today. Now, if I have anybody attending today that didn't attend class 2 or class 1, I do want to just introduce myself. My name is Anthony. I work here at Orange County Realtors. Been here now for almost 19 years, started off in the MLS department. Guaranteed I will speak to everybody regarding rules, regulations, violations, all that fun stuff. What I'm also involved with is our outreach program. Our outreach program is designed to give you training on all your tools and products. So not only do I train on MLS, how to run searches, add and modify listings, create CMAs, but I also train on Zip Forms, how to put together your transactions electronically, how to digitally sign them using either DocuSign or Digital Link. And of course, I love going over the advanced tools that Zip Forms has to offer. But I also train, and I love giving training on tech. I like to consider myself kind of geeky, even though I know there are tons more people out there way geekier than I am, but I love to show agents how they can utilize today's technology and platforms to be able to better their real estate career. And if anything, COVID has shown us, especially last year, with issues of being face-to-face, we've had to really adapt to this new technology. And it's so great to see that the things I've been training on for the past 5, 10, 15 years has really come to the forefront, and that most agents have really gone to this technology to enhance themselves. So when it comes to your game plan, what's your strategy in developing your social media? You have to ask yourself this, right? It's like playing chess or any game. Whoops. Okay, wonder why that happened. All right. Of course, gotta love technology when it decides it wants to kick you out. When it comes to social media, you gotta have a strategy. It's like playing chess or any game, right? You need to have a strategy. You can't expect to ever win the game or have it be successful if there's no strategy to it. Okay. So without one, you can't expect to win or be successful. Okay. So this is super key for all of us, and something that we all think, oh, geez, how hard is it? Right. We just post and miraculously it happens. No, there is a strategy to it to make it successful. And I know that based on a lot of the questions that some of you had from the first class, hopefully this will give you that strategy to think about. And really, there's really 3 main strategies, okay? Or 3 possible strategies to this game plan. Strategy number 1, the only thing that you post on your social media is something that's real estate related that you are the expert on, right? That's all you need to do. If you only wanted to talk about real estate because you are an expert at real estate through all these things, so something that's real estate related that you're the expert on, that's strategy number 1. Number 2, sorry about that. Strategy number 2, the only thing that you do social media wise, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube videos, whatever, it's all non-real estate related that drives you as a person passionately. Okay. So the things that you're most passionate about, cooking, wine tasting, cheese eating, whatever you need, that's the only thing that you're going to ever post about on social media, things that you're super passionate about. Now, the third strategy to think about is something that's a mixture of 1 and 2, right? Your third strategy would be you're going to mix posts about real estate that you're an expert on, and then of course you're going to put other posts that drive you passionately, right? That are non-real estate related. Now, real quickly here, Pry asks, please update your system. Just read this week that Mac OS is under attack by hackers and malware. I did. My Mac computer yesterday morning at 8:02 went through a massive update. So it installed the latest updates, but thanks, Priya. I will have to double check that again to make sure that those updates went through. But yes, I did hear about the malware attack on Mac OS. So wouldn't surprise me. I do have Avast, so I probably need to rerun that again to see if anything has happened. So yay, fun stuff. Let's see here. So out of the 3 strategies, I'm going to ask you guys a simple thing. What you have to ask yourself, which one is going to best suit you? Is it strategy number 1, strategy number 2, or strategy number 3? Now, the honest answer to this, and good to see some of you are writing number 3, number 3, number 3. Hey, that's great. But honestly, number 1 and number 2 work just as well. Okay. So you don't have to do it just one way. And as a matter of fact, again, with everybody the way they are, the individualism that we all go through, this is something that we all can relate to. Okay. So, but yes, ideally, a mixture of both is going to be really great to make us a well-rounded individual when it comes to social media. Okay. Now, when it comes to social media, making these strategies happen, no matter what, you need to be yourself. Okay. It is super important that you need to be yourself. You also need to be creative and fun and open to engage with people. I can't tell you how many times that I've seen agents just post things on social media because honestly, realistically, on my Facebook, a majority of my friends are real estate agents. And the only thing that bothers me is that when you reach out to a real estate agent to say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? How's real estate business? They don't even engage back. And what they do post looks like every other real estate agent's post because a lot of them are using the same real estate or the same social media companies. And the problem with a social media company, not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but one of the problems is what makes your post any different than the other people that they're posting for? A lot of times, all that is cookie cutter information. And what I mean by that, it looks the same. So how does that make you stand out amongst anybody else or your competition? So you need to be creative and fun and open to engage with people. And of course, you also need to be a friend and a source of data. Sure, I can show you how to create something. But it's really easy, really super easy to do, especially when we jump into talking about video work. Okay, because this is really what this is going to also help you be in creative and being fun. Okay. Now, real quickly, being yourself, right? That's what we need to be. Relationships are built on trust and being vulnerable, right? Why we have social media is to try to build these relationships. It's okay to show somewhat of a vulnerable side. A friend is someone who gives you total freedom to be yourself. And I get it. Usually in today's age, it's hard to be who you are and accepted for who you are. And this is why a lot of people, 2.7 billion people worldwide, are on social media, is that they can feel that they can be themselves and let the true person out, because in the real world, or the physical world, not the real world, but the physical world, they feel that they have to keep self-contained. Now, I think some people have gone overboard, but we'll talk about that. Now, but why is this important to have these relationships of trust and vulnerability? For the simple reason is people buy from people that they trust. So our lecture for today is you need to be a trustworthy person because people will buy and sell through you because they trust you. Is that true? Does anybody feel that they can't buy or sell something from somebody unless they feel like they trust them. Like, how many of you all have ever gone to the store and the store clerk comes up and that the first words out of their mouth is, "Can I help you? What can you need? What are you, excuse me, what are you looking for?" What did 9 times out of 10 we all say? "I'm sorry, I'm just looking," right? "I'm just looking around." But if somebody comes up, "Hey, how you doing? What's going on? How's your day today?" Where all of a sudden we drop that guard a little bit. They got to know us a little bit because they felt that they wanted to build that relationship. And then, "Oh, by the way, is there something that you're particularly looking for that you're not finding? Or, you know what? Just let me know if there's something I can help you with." We tend to usually go back to that person. Real estate is no different. Now, here's the key thing though, when it comes to social media, your online persona should reflect the person of who you are today. Anybody here remember online dating? Anybody ever do online dating? And again, you can raise your hand if you want. Anybody ever do online dating before? Anybody ever been on a date before? And maybe you even talked to them over the phone, but the person that you seemed to talk to over the phone, when you actually met them, they weren't the person who they said they were, right? They acted differently. They acted more shy. They weren't as outgoing, or total opposite. A person that said that they were shy and respectful, when you got to actually meet them, they were actually rude and crude and rough around the edges. Anybody ever feel disappointed on those types of dates? I see Deanna saying, "Yep, yep, I've been on a date like that before." Yeah. So when it comes to online and social media, be who you are. Okay. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to let people in, to build that aura of trust. And it's okay to be vulnerable. Now, what I usually mean by being vulnerable is that you don't have to share everything, right? You are allowed to still keep things private. Okay. Nobody needs to see, or no, not everybody needs to know that I at 2 o'clock every day I sit in the corner and cry for a good hour, right? Nobody needs to see that, or nobody needs to hear that. Not necessarily. So we can be a little private, but people do know that, hey, I'm a person that loves to listen to people, and I'll give you helpful advice if you need to. It's okay to be like that. Now, our second part of what we need to be, creative and fun, we got to think of unique and fun ways to communicate with people, right? Because the way we communicate with people is how we're going to build our rapport. Now, this does take practice. And again, this is also part of that vulnerability, because some of us don't know that we have a good, nice, fun side, even though our close family and friends do, but not all of our friends. And anybody ever feel like they're just pushing people off, but then when we push people away, they tend to go away? We don't want that for our businesses necessarily. We want people to engage with us. So we need to allow some of that fun side out, right? We can be witty without having to be crude. We can be fun without being over the top, right? We want to let people, because it's not only us letting our guard down, but we also need to help other people let their guard down, because their first thought is, hey, Tony's just going to talk at me about real estate and wants me just to buy or sell. That's the only reason why he's my friend, right? No, we need to change that. Hey, what's going on? What's happening? How's life? What's happening with you? How's work? Be fun and engaging. Next. Oh, and why is this important? A friend is also gives great information, right? People always ask their trusted friends for the advice and guidance in making a big decision. This is true, even in all aspects, not just purchases, but any big decision. Anybody here ever sit down with a good friend of theirs to get their opinion about somebody that you were dating? Right? This is why ladies always brought their boyfriends in and around their girlfriends, right? Because they wanted to get their girlfriends' inputs. Same thing with us guys. We brought our girlfriends around, our guy friends, just to get an idea of what our guy friends thought about our girlfriend. And if somebody said something bad, or the consensus was, hey, that person's not treating you right, they were kind of mean, they were kind of rude, we started thinking of and reevaluating that relationship, right? Now put it into terms of money. Is a stranger going to ask another stranger advice on buying or selling something if they don't know them or don't trust them? No. They're going to ask their friends, hey, I've got this much money set off the side. Do you think it's a good time to buy? What do you think I should buy? Or I'm thinking about buying here. What do you think? So we want to be able to be open enough for people to have that rapport with us, to start asking us for information to help guide them, to help them make a well-informed decision. And ultimately, that's what the social media marketing is going to do for you. If you're open and vulnerable to be able to communicate with people in a nice, relaxed, fun way, people are going to start asking you for information, and hopefully you start using you because you are a trusted source. Now, things to talk about. Talk about the market, right? What are the market conditions? Is it a buyer's or seller's market? Are home prices going up or down? Is this neighborhood or this city doing well? Are people leaving this place to go to a different place? Talk about those things. Don't let these third-party giant companies that don't know the market the way that you do, because the market is more than just numbers. It's what you see. It's what people experience. Community. What's going on in the community? How are people handling reopening slowly but surely during this COVID-19? Right? What are the communities, like the city communities, doing? Right? I live in Mission Viejo, and one thing that people were highly upset about was that they didn't have fireworks last year. They didn't want people congregating at the lake here in Mission Viejo Lake. Is the same going to happen this year? Well, you as a real estate agent, if you're marketing in Mission Viejo, wouldn't that be something important to talk about? Wouldn't people in that city love to know? Has the city decided on this? Has the city decided on that? Now, all of a sudden, what? You are engaged. Talk about current events, weather, what's happening in the world, maybe. And of course, talk about things that interest you. Are you into sports, TV shows, articles that you've read? Again, wine tasting, cheesemongering, foodie. Anybody here a foodie? I'm a foodie. Unfortunately, the camera doesn't show anything from the waist down. I can tell you I probably have gained about 20 pounds since COVID. But thankfully, my wife got us a stationary bike. So now I just got to get into bike mode. I just have to readjust my eating habits. But hey, what are the great? I missed the great restaurants. But what's some of the positive out of that? I got to connect with my cooking side again, because I love food, baking breads, doing brisket, smoking, not smoking, but smoking meats, eating vegetables, trying out new recipes. Now that restaurants are opening, kind of experiencing what do our restaurants like post COVID? Is the food still the same? Am I still getting the same service as I did before? And of course, other things to talk about you. People like to know what's going on in your life. And it's okay to talk about yourself. That's another reason why social media was invented, because people need to feel a little self-important, and it's okay. You deserve it. Now, there are things to avoid. If there are things to talk about, there are things to avoid and not talk about, right? Like trivial things. Maybe walking the dog, like or you just woke up. Hey, I just woke up this morning at 8:45. I'm 20 minutes late for work. Nobody necessarily wants to read that. But if you did post it, what does that say about you? You're a lazy person that you like to sleep in, and of course you're late for work? No. Polarizing topics. Now, this is a big, huge one, especially today. What are the two major polarizing topics that will alienate people? Politics and religion. If you're an old fogey like myself, and actually I know most everybody probably, I shouldn't say old fogey, but if you're a seasoned person like myself, one of the things that was almost a cardinal rule at the family dinner table was never talking about politics and never talking about religion. And why is that? Anybody? People get in heated discussions. They get into arguments. Who wants to sit down at a family dinner where this is the time for us to bond together, end up in a fight and a battle, a screaming match? How is that enjoyable for anyone? And of course, nowadays, in the past 5-6 years, these are huge topics to really try to avoid when it comes to social media. Because have you noticed, if you say one thing, whether you agree with one side or the other, it's a 50-50 split. And I know for you guys as real estate agent, do you want to alienate 50% of your clientele just because you had a difference of opinion on either politics or religion? Anyone here want to lose 50% of their business just by talking about that? Probably not. Right? Democrats need a place to live. Republicans need a place to live. All races need a place to live. Right? Don't need to talk about polarizing topics. Whether you're Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, atheist, everybody needs a place to live. So those things should be avoided. Obviously, try to not be rude or vulgar or obnoxious. Don't criticize other people. All that shows is that you're very judgmental. And heaven forbid somebody who wants to get to know you is afraid to get to know you because they don't want to be judged. Right? The old saying, judge not unless ye be judged yourself. If you're willing to be judged and are okay with it, then okay. But really, it's not something you want to do. And of course, obviously, you don't want to sell things in the wrong place. This is why the Facebook business page was invented. That's where you're supposed to do your selling. Doesn't mean that you can't reshare it to your personal page, but just know that's what it's meant for. Let's see here. Yes, wars have been started over religion as an example, Martha. You're absolutely right. Look at today. Wars are constantly started over religion and different viewpoints and different political viewpoints. Look at what happened within our own country last year and still continues to this day. This is why I go, what happened to being tolerant and forgiving and sitting down and talking? Nobody talks to each other. Nobody's listening to each other. And that's a sad thing. And we don't want to be stuck in the middle or even, stuck feeling like we're not being heard or hearing others. But those are different avenues. All right. Now, we got to think of how to make our message stand out, right? We have to come up with ways in being creative and fun to make our message stand out. Don't be afraid to stand out in this crowd. Don't have any introverts? Anybody who's afraid to talk about themselves or afraid to stand out in front of a crowd? Like if you're at a party, do you just kind of sit in the corner? If you're like me, you kind of sit in the corner, sit back, watch other people. But other people, watching others engage. But then at the end of the night, when somebody asks, did you have fun? And you go, It's because we didn't stand out in the crowd. We didn't talk. We've got things to talk about. It's okay. So we got to come up with ways to take that introvertedness, if you are an introvert, to now start to become an extrovert. We don't have to be like the other extroverts that are way outgoing, But we do need to come out of our shell just a little bit. But in coming out of our shell, this is how we deliver our message to make it stand out. We have to come up with ways. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of examples on social media posts that kind of are simple, right? Because you don't have to make it complicated. Here are several social media posts that say different things. Here in the background, if you ever get a chance to be on Instagram, this is the lady to know, Marky Lemons Rowell. She's a real estate agent out of Chicago. She's about 5'2", really sweet gal, speaks her mind. She does video, she does social media, she does it all. Okay. But it's really, if you look at her posts, whether it's on Facebook or even on Instagram, because she does a lot of video, and she would be somebody I would definitely look after or look at and try to mimic. Okay. But look at her post, right? My mind is officially blown. 4 times in this lifetime, 2 times once in a year. And of course, she's thanking Realtor Magazine for doing a news article on her. And she put a copy of the article in her social media post. So she acknowledges what's happening or about her to let other people know why she's being recognized by NAR. Now here's another one, a very simple infographic. If you like Canva, anybody familiar with Canva or into graphic designing? You make a very simple post. In this case, rent versus buy. The pros of renting, and the pros of buying. And let people decide. Here's one that I found on Instagram. Window cleaning 101. 1 part vinegar, 1 part hot water, streak-free natural cleaning without all the extra chemicals. By the way, vinegar has alcohol in it, which kills germs. So you don't need to go out and buy Lysol at $7 a can to kill 99.9% of the germs, which just come back after a half hour because it's only contained in that one area. We all can't live in a 100% germ-free environment. We just wouldn't live, right? But here, just something simple, quick, and natural. Nice little tidbit. Or even this one. What backyard do you prefer? And show them the 2 different backyards. Now, I'm going to talk about an agent. When I did this class for an office in Huntington Beach, I did this exact same class. We talked about the exact same slide. And when the agent saw this, they said, wow, I kind of like the simplicity of this. And during the class, she made up, out of her 2 listings, put it together a picture with one listing's backyard and another listing's backyard with the exact same quote, which backyard did you prefer? She posted it within the 15 minutes of me talking about this. At the end of class, which was about a half hour, 45 minutes later, her post had already 273 views, had 50 comments. One set of people split almost 50-50, where one set liked the top backyard from one listing, and she didn't even talk about what listings they were on. And the other 50%, the other 25 people, talked about the bottom backyard. 5 of each in that half hour had first, their question was, is this property for sale? I like the top photo and I'm interested. I ended up seeing her a month later and for another class for her office. And she said that out of everybody that responded, because this was probably the most response that she got was a post like this from all of her friends on Facebook, was that she ended up opening up both of those properties that had been listed. And this was maybe about a year ago. Both properties ended up getting into escrow within a week after that, within a week of posting that listing. So she had just posted the property, and inside of a week, out of the people that had inquired about the listing from this post, one of those or each of those got into escrow. from one of her views, or viewers, I should say. So things like this does work. By the way, anybody liked any of these posts? These are actually from, I think, what is this? This one's obviously from Facebook, Instagram. This one I think was both on Instagram and Facebook. And this one I've seen, I think this one actually came off of CAR's website as a post that could be shared by you as a real estate agent. Thank you very much, Robert. Totally appreciate that. All right. Now, your message being received, are you doing messages as text, writing them, or are you doing videos and pictures? Crazy enough today, because of internet and everything like that, 90% of information all comes through our visual input. Okay. People tend to remember more information while they're being visually and audibly stimulated at the same time. People tend to remember 70% more and respond 40% better to a visual posting than having to read text. We're just now all visual creatures. If anything, our first class has shown us that YouTube and video is so powerful with the amount of video hours people are watching day in and day out. Facebook understands this. This is why they implemented Facebook Live and give your posts higher elevation on Facebook when you're putting up pictures and videos over just written text and articles that don't have videos in them. Deanna, sorry, I just noticed that there was an actual Q&A section. No, that's okay. The chat is fine. I've got both sections open, so I'm watching both there, Deanna. I know a lot of people tend to go to the chat because it's quicker and easier to do. By the way, visual posting, pictures and videos increase engagement, or people responding to those posts, by an increase of 170%. So, and I want to say those numbers have actually increased even more. So people are responding more often to visual postings or pictures and videos more so than written text. Now, another part of your plan is time management. Okay. Because you got to make time for Facebook and social media. Okay. By the way, not all postings are the same. There are optimal times to post versus not posting. Like the worst time to post on Facebook is between 12 and 8 a.m. Why is that? Most people are asleep. But the best days of the week to post are Thursdays and Fridays. For some strange reason, people love seeing what's going to happen for the weekend. That way they can plan out their weekends. Now, you have to ask yourself, what is your Facebook schedule? Once you decide on your posting schedule, what days of the week, what times, you got to book your calendar. Now, this has changed a little bit, especially your Facebook posting. Facebook algorithms don't look at time spent, but they look how many times a day you go to Facebook. This is what's going to dictate how often your posts are seen by your friends, family, and of course, your likes. Minimally, at least 3 times a week. As a matter of fact, this has changed. And I should scratch through this. It's 3 times a day, minimally. Now, I know a lot of you go, whoa, 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 3 times a day on Facebook sounds like a ton of work. No, it's really not. Remember, times hit is not time spent. Social media is very easy to get sucked into this time suck. And this is, again, why our schedule is so important, because we have to limit our time. Because we've got other important things that we have to do, right? You guys have showings, you have inspections, you've got listing appointments, you got buying appointments, you got everything else in your schedule. You've just got to put that Facebook time in. Now, this should be at minimum 3 times per day. Once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and once at night. But the time spent should be no greater than 20 minutes. 20 minutes. So if you spend 5 to 10 minutes in the morning, while you're drinking your coffee, eating your donut or bagel or whatever, having a big breakfast, you go on, you look at what other people are posting. Maybe you respond, not just like or dislike a post, but respond to the post. Hey, that was a really cool thing. Oh, I love that video, whatever. And maybe you post something about your day, right? Afternoon, no more than 5 minutes in the afternoon while you're having lunch, if you're having lunch. And then at night, another 5 to 10 minutes. You close out your day. And again, respond, look at people's posts, and of course, post something up yourself. Let's see here. Deanna asks, my friend sent me so many posts, it was too much for me that I almost unfriended them. I don't want to think people me like that. You don't have to be like that. And again, you don't have to post something all the time, just one or two things throughout the day, but at least respond to other people's postings because you want them to see that you're engaging with your friends. And remember what I was saying earlier about that friend list, right? Or that list that you're going to create. So what you're going to do to help maximize your time spent on Facebook is that you're going to gear a post to a particular list. Or you view a particular list. Like I want to view all my sellers very first thing in the morning, what they're posting on social media or what they've posted. So now instead of looking at family and friends that aren't clients, you only see the seller clients postings. And then maybe in the afternoon, you look at your buyer clients. And then at night, you look at the clients in general. And your postings to those groups are different than what you're posting to your family. So that might help you negate this whole being unfriended thing because you're posting too much. And again, 3 times a day, minimally, where you're posting maybe 2 or 3 things, right? Because, if I post something about about the business on my business page and reshare it to my client list in the morning, then only the clients will see that, right? And then maybe there's something about lending that I share an article from one of my lenders on my Facebook business page, and in the afternoon I reshare it to my buyers list on my personal page, right? So we're going to mix that up. And then of course, maybe I post something to my family instead about little Chinese, piano resaddle, so you can mix and match it. So not everybody's going to see that. Does that help, Deanna? Now, Twitter, I expect to go away, seeing how Twitter has now banned Donald Trump and Facebook has banned or has now banned Donald Trump from posting. I know that he was a real big reason why a lot of people went to Twitter. And Twitter was on the verge of, or was in bankruptcy just a mere 2 years or 3 years ago. And I can't imagine that their financial situation has gotten any better. I do not know how they're staying afloat right now. So that one I'm not overly worried about. And really, Twitter is more for news feeds versus real estate information. It's great to understand what's going on in the city to get news about the city, but you as a real estate agent, I don't see the benefits of having a Twitter account necessarily to post things. LinkedIn, on the other hand, I put that above Twitter any day of the week. So I would look at that. Let's see here. Yes, it does help. Awesome. Now, Facebook marketing tips. Thursday and Friday between 1 and 3 are considered the best times to post. So if you are doing not just a physical open house, because we're not allowed to do that right now, but a virtual open house, those would be the time to post that on Facebook, because people are going to see when you're holding that open house and what day. Or even doing the virtual open house, this would be a great time to schedule an event on your Facebook business page for people to register for, to be able to watch you walk through the property and talk about the property. Business posts, other businesses, large corporations post at least 8 times a day throughout the day. So in this case, I think that is a bit too much, but I'm just asking you at least 3 times a day. Go from 0 to 3. That's it. Only 20 minutes. Excuse me, 20 minutes for Facebook. Let's see here. What do I think of TikTok? I think TikTok is a little too wild. I'm not overly fond of it, especially because my understanding with the amount of data collection, and I think it was a Chinese company that owns TikTok and selling that information to other entities without the TikTok's members' approvals, I think is a big bad thing. So I'm not overly fond of things like that. I mean, it's one thing that Facebook collects and sells your data. At least Facebook makes you sign or agree to an agreement every year that to let you know that they are collecting your data and that they can or will sell your information to other entities. So it's up to us whether we want to choose to do that or not. TikTok, my understanding is they're just kind of doing it just to do it. And I think the video work is okay. It's another social media platform. It's popular, but is it as popular as YouTube? No. Is it as popular as Instagram? Definitely not. I think your big 4 should be Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Those should be your big 4 social media platforms personally for your business. Everything else is kind of, out there. But yeah, sorry for that long-winded explanation, Deanna. Let's see here. I'm just asking you to post 3 times a day or go on it at least 3 times a day. Again, you're going to engage that algorithm that shows that you are willing to go into their platform more often than spending time on it. Images account for 75 to 90% of the Facebook ad performance. So if you are doing a targeted ad, at least make sure there are photos in the ad, if not a video. What's really important, though, is that 1 in 5 Facebook videos are now live broadcasts. Okay, so it's super important to know that that you should do at least a broadcast at least once in a while, right? And crazy enough, 42% of customer services respond to an inquiry to an ad within the first 60 minutes. Now, I know you go, well, geez, Tony, how do I respond to an ad? Well, if you have Facebook on your phone, enable the Facebook, enable the Facebook notification on your phone. So that way, if you do a targeted ad, your phone's notified anybody responding or clicking on the button to get their information. So that way you can engage. Or if they respond to the post, like writing a comment, you see the comment right away. Then you can go into Facebook on your phone, look at the ad, look at the comment, and respond to the comment. And again, that's going to show client customer engagement. Okay. Now, here's the big thing. Talking about scheduling, what to post. Here's a sample of a 30-day social media calendar. Typically, we have 30 days in a month. The only couple of exceptions are, May and July, May and July when you have 31 days, and December. And then, of course, you got the 1 month that's got 28, 29 days, which is February. But it's kind of all the same. Think about it here. Day 1, first day of the month, write something inspirational. Day 2, talk about your deals or offers. Question of the day, relevant content, current events, right? Here's a 30-day calendar for you guys. Also, here's some suggestions about what to post. What would I do a broadcast on? I would do a broadcast on several things, and this is going to go into our video format, but I do a broadcast live from the house. I'm going to turn on my Facebook. I'm going to go to Facebook Live and do a live walkthrough of a property. Now, this is only good if I'm a listing agent. Okay. So make sure you do that as a listing agent. Buyer agents, don't do this unless you got written permission from the listing agent, or else you're going to break so many rules, not only MLS, but code of ethics, which is super huge right now. So don't break those rules. I think fines for breaking code of ethics is $10,000. MLS rules for doing a video without permission is $1,500, and the fines just go up. But if I was doing a live broadcast from an event, maybe eventually, like you got to go to a concert at Mission Viejo, the Lake Mission Viejo, do a broadcast. Hey, I'm here at Lake Mission Viejo. I'm sitting through Hootie, Hootie and the Blowfish. I haven't heard them since 20 years from now. This is one of the great things living in and around this lake. They have concerts, right? And then, of course, if you're ever interested in coming to the lake or gaining access to the lake, I know some properties that are up for sale. Give me a call. Or you don't even talk about the properties at all. Hey, just give me a holler sometime. I got a guest pass. I can get you in. Let me know. I got the list of events coming up. Do whatever you need. Okay. What about if someone in my office shared a listing and I want to reach out to my Facebook or Instagram to find a buyer? Again, always get written permission. The big thing is perception. You don't want to have people on your Instagram or Facebook perceive that you are the listing agent when you are not. That is deceiving the public. Code of Ethics, Article 12. So always get written permission from the listing agent, because you also have to give the listing agent credit when you're doing that type of video or posting. So be super careful, okay? All right, good. All right, some other things here, and I'm sorry that 12 and 13 kind of merged together, but who pays for what when it comes to buying a property, maybe even commission? You kind of get people to understand that nowadays, right? Top reasons why Mission Viejo is awesome, right? Or is an incredible community. So here are 30 suggestions to talk about for 30 days, or mix and match them. Because not everything happens, right? Not every date has a holiday, unless you ask Alexa. Alexa, I think, used to tell me every morning when I greeted her, good morning, she would tell me everything that's happened today. Like May 4th. Did everybody aware that May 4th is now considered Star Wars Day? Right? Why? May the 4th be with you. Alexa, stop. Sorry. All right. Now, real quickly, we're going to talk about by the way, are there any questions about any of these types of topics to talk about on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever? Anybody excited about getting this presentation? Kind of help you jot these things down on your calendar? Yes, excellent. All right. So now we're going to talk about video. Our approach to video marketing, right? Starts with that plan, right? The idea is there, but the idea is just part of that. Got to have a plan in place to put that idea into action. Your idea is I want to do videos for marketing, but the plan is what's going to help make that idea come to fruition. So I got a 4-part plan for making videos. Part 1 of your plan, you got to dedicate some resources. Now, you don't have to spend a ton of money. As a matter of fact, videos today is the easiest DIY, do-it-yourself platform out there, and probably almost the cost-effective. You also need to dedicate your resource of time, so schedule time. You got to have a place to record. Ideally, your office or home are ideal. The two most quietest places to record. Now, granted, some of us may have kids, But while the kids are studying, guess what? And they're quiet, listening to the teacher, shut your door to your room and record a video. Or if you have kids that do go to school, but your spouse is working from home, the dogs and the distraction and the gardeners are a distraction, then maybe you go to the office. If the office is available, go into your office and where it's nice and quiet and record. Okay. Equipment. A camera or mobile device is good enough. As a matter of fact, again, you don't have to spend a ton of money, right? You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to get a high-end camera. As a matter of fact, most of the videos you're going to do and most of your camera work nowadays is all going to be on your mobile device. And your mobile devices, especially if you have an iPhone and an Android, what is it? It's Android Samsung C or S21. They're recording in 4K video, high definition, high-end video. These are high definition cameras. Okay. So you do not need to spend $500, $1,000, $5,000 on a high-end camera at all. Now, another piece of equipment you might need is a microphone. Something simple. A wired little microphone or a lavalier microphone that I can plug into my phone, connect it to my lapel, or plug it into my camera or my computer. That way we get clear audio. And again, Amazon, less than $15. Get a nice wired one. If you like to have somebody do video work where they're holding the camera, then maybe you got your earpods. You're right. AirPods are great for audio nowadays, especially if you're an iPhone user. Now, granted, that's $190 now, but it's a $190 great investment. Not only can you listen to your music, your audiobooks, and of course have great conversational phone calls, but video work done with that as well. And of course, some sort of video editing software, iMovie, Movie Maker, WeVideo. I like WeVideo because it costs you about $100 a year, but it's all internet based. I don't have to worry about downloading software, and the videos that I record and create up to 4K video. So high definition. So I've had high definition camera work done on my cell phone or on my computer. And now I can use a high definition video editor to have great high quality. iMovie, if you're a Mac user, iMovie is free. It's available on your phone. It's available on a Mac computer. It's even available on the tablet device at no cost. Movie Maker, this is the PC version of iMovie. Basically, it's a full video editor. It's free to download. So that's part one of your plan, the resources. Part two of the plan, you got to figure out what stories you got to tell. Let's see here. You can write, let's see. Let's see here. Deanna, Martha, let's see. You need to know a good microphone, please. There are a ton of them. You can go to Amazon and find some really nice ones. It depends on what type of work you're doing. Let me see if I can turn off my background image here. I can't right at the moment. But here I've got a nice little microphone set up where it's a USB microphone plugged into my computer. This microphone plus the filter plus the arm cost me about $80 altogether. And it's just a plug and play. The lavalier one was about $15 off of Amazon. It's great because I can plug it into my DSLR camera. And now I have a direct video, but I'm limited because it's wired. You can get wireless ones that connect up, and now all of a sudden you can stand about 15, 20 feet away and have clear audio going directly into your camera. So you've got to pick and choose what you like. I would say on average, you should be able to pay no more than $35, $40 for a good microphone, Martha. And yes, it can be it's a business expense. If you're doing anything for your business, it's going to be considered a business expense. So if you're buying it on Amazon, buy it under your Amazon credit card or Amazon bank debit card, whatever, and then give it to your accountant. I bought, this software. I bought this microphone. I bought this camera stand, my lighting equipment, whatever you need. If you're doing it for your business, it's going to be considered a write-off. Yes, Deanna. So yes, you can write it all off. Wireless ones are called wireless lavalier microphones. Here, I'll leave that presentation super quickly. So if you go to Amazon.com, and here in Amazon, you type in, say, as an example, USB microphone. There you go. You have a whole bunch of different microphones. I would always look for top ratings and read those reviews, when those reviews were done, how many reviews were received about that product. Here you've got some that sit on a stand that point at you on the desk. Others, if we show right here, USB mic, it's got a microphone arm that can connect up to your desk. And this pop filter is important because when we say P's or S's or F's, it kind of cuts down on the stress of that P. So it's really nice. And what's nice about something like this is I don't have to scream or yell. Granted, I am a loud talker, so I probably sound really close, but I am fairly far away from my microphone. But if I got really close, you'd probably hear me really loud, kind of thing. So, you don't have to do that. So that's a USB. The other one would be, wireless microphone. And you've got several. I would look at something that's got like a camera setup and things like that. So let's see here. Sorry. So you got things like that you could do. So I would really like that. But yeah, just go to Amazon. Again, you can find them fairly affordable. Wireless microphones are going to be a little bit more expensive because of the wireless technology and the routers and stuff. But if you find one for your camera, wireless microphone for DSL for camera. There you go. You got several that would meet that. So one end plugs into the camera, and the other, which is the receiver, and the other one is the actual microphone itself that would hook to your lapel. And in this case, you got two of them. So with one camera plug-in. And again, I would read the reviews, but something like this should run you about $100, $150 for a good one. Like this one is probably a good one here. And again, I would still even look at YouTube for reviews to see what you got. Did that help, Martha and Deanna? You can even do a mobile camera setup. And here you got a whole slew of different products that you can utilize and actually I should say mobile camera video equipment. And hopefully that'll come up with something good. There we go. So gimbals, microphones, camera setups, find out what you want and how you want to use your video work. So they're very, very interesting. There's a whole slew of stuff that you could use. Yeah, I was going to use my iPhone and my AirPods. Great, Deanna. That's all you need, honestly. If that's all you're going to, you want to use that for, then more power to you. Now, part 2 of the plan, figure out the stories and how you're going to tell them. Now, part of that is you got to think about the audience you are wanting to connect with, and you got to consider what audience you're going to want to attract, right? Because that's going to dictate how we give and deliver our messages. especially when we're talking about the market. Some of you will see positive, some of you will see negative. The ones that see positive will usually find other people that find the market positive. If you're talking about negative things in the business, you're going to usually attract that type of business that feels that the business is negative as well, right? It's that law of attraction thing. What we project, we bring to us, okay? Now, the stories and how you're going to tell it, that's going to be a big key thing here. To start, keep your videos short. You only need to give them small nuggets of information, no more than 2 to 3 minutes if possible, okay? Give the audience an excuse to want more from you. Why do a 5 or 10 minute video going over the entire escrow process or the entire buying process or the entire listing process, or prepare yourself to do a listing? They only need 2 or 3 things. Give them enough information to want more from you, right? Remember, marketing is like fishing. Anybody here ever gone fishing? No one's ever gone fishing? Anybody understand the concept of fishing? Where you go out there, we want to get fish, right? Well, we've got 2 ways of doing that. You can do one way of you dump the bait in the water and you hope that the fish are going to jump in your boat. Or we take the fishing rod that's got the line, got the hook, we put the bait on the hook, and then we put it in the water, and then we snag one fish to bring it in the boat. Which one's more effective? Anybody? Yes, Deanna, you kind of sit and wait to a degree, but part of that waiting is what? You are enticing fish to come to you. You don't just dump the bait and wish that the fish jump in the boat. You put the bait on the hook to entice at least one fish to bite the hook for you to pull them in, right? Exactly. It's all about your marketing is your bait. Well, in video marketing, do I give them the entire bait and dump it all in the ocean and hope that some fish or all the fish jump in my boat? No. We give them a little bit of information to want to pull them in and reel them in to our boat, right? So you got to give them an excuse. So instead of maybe saying 5 things a seller needs to do to prepare to sell their home, maybe you only give them 1 thing or 2 things, right? Here are the top 2 or 3 things you as a homeowner need to do if you're thinking about selling your home. For more information or for the next step, give me a call. Shoot me an email. Now maybe they write the comment, okay, I've done steps 1 through 3. What's step number 4? Now maybe you write what step number 4 is, but then you go, hey, because we need to have an excuse for them to come back into us, right? Okay, for any other steps, maybe you and I need to sit down and talk because your situation may require something different. And I'd love to sit down and talk with you about the other steps involved in selling your property. Right? Give them that excuse. Number 1, when you write the comment like that, people see step number 4. They see that you're open and engaging with that person, inquiring about what they did based on what they saw in your video. But now you're giving the person a chance to come to you offline to be able to solidify the deal. And maybe get other people inquired. Hey, I've done the same steps. What are the other steps? Or maybe I need to get you out here to see what I need to do next. Other things, other parts of your video, never or avoid fading to black. Somehow subconsciously, when a video goes to black, we immediately begin to forget everything. When it comes to your video, always end the video with your contact information. Not only do you say it, contact me at, call me at, but this is a great opportunity to post that contact slide with not just your phone number, your email address, your DRE license number, but your company name and the company logo. and your personal logo. That's what should be your last slide in all your videos when you're doing video marketing. And maybe even talking about an upcoming event. Tune in next week when we're going to go over this. Or for more information, give me a call. Give them a call to action. Any questions about part 2 of the plan? All right, part 3. Time. Schedule time to do videos. Consistency is going to be super key to video marketing. If you only do one video, do not expect a lot in return. You need to actually put out numerous videos consistently before you begin to notice results. And I can tell you from personal experience, this is true. When I first started on YouTube, I did one video and I think I did 1 or 2 videos and I had less than 5 views. But by my 4th, 5th, 6th video that I started putting out regularly once per month, I've now seen a huge result in just a mere 4 years. Ideally, agents really should be doing a video once a week. Now, I tell you, when you hear that, I know everybody freaks out. Oh my God, you're expecting me to do a video once a week? Are you crazy? I can't even get a showing once a week. You're expecting me to do a video once a week? No, not at all. Not at all. Not right away. It's like working out. You got to build up to it. I am going to ask you to promise yourself, not me, promise yourself, you at least do 1 video a month, right? It's like working out. Nobody could expect you, or you couldn't expect to run a 5-mile marathon right out of the gate, right? None of us have that gift, or very few of us have that gift, right? If you've never ran before, you've never exercised before, you've never jogged before, how could you ever expect to run a 5-mile marathon? You couldn't. You have to build up to it. Maybe you run 100 yards, then you run 500 yards, then you run a quarter mile, then you run a mile, right? You have to build up to that 5 miles or 10-mile run. Video marketing is the same way, or doing videos is the same way. If you do at least 1 video a month, after 12 months, you've got 12 videos in your video library. And then you just grow from there. Hey, that wasn't too hard. 1 month to do 1 video? How easy is that for you guys? Now, the reason why that once a week is important is because depending on the video that you're wanting to do, this is actually going to dictate the type of schedule you are in. There are quarterly videos, there are monthly videos, there are videos weekly, and of course there are on-the-fly videos. Anytime opportunity videos that you give yourself a chance to do. But if you've never done video work before and you've never done videos before, this is impossible to do right away. You may say, geez, I really want it. But again, remember that idea. If we put no plan into place, no time, no schedule, no nothing, this can't ever happen. Promise yourself and put on your schedule at least for now, once a month to do a video. Okay. Now, when you upload the video, part 4 of the plan, be mindful of where people need to see that. So post it to your YouTube channel. Put that video from your YouTube channel on your website. Take that video or do a video on Facebook. Put it on your business page. Boost the post if need be, depending on the topic. The real important part of this plan is that you need to analyze and measure those video analytics, right? How well your videos are doing, which videos are being viewed the most, how long people are watching them. If a viewer is actually going to share your video, you actually see that. This person shared your video on this date. Oh, that's great. If they are writing comments, if they like or dislike them. By the way, if they write a comment, respond to it. Respond to it. By the way, knowing those analytics will begin to make you tailor that content to the demographic that is viewing and finding. And this is how you find that niche. And funny enough, a lot of video is on the cuff. meaning it's impromptu. It's not always planned. The videos that get the most views are videos being done from people's cars. Now, I don't want you guys driving and doing video. Don't do that. That's a no-no. But know that sometimes, hey, the opportunity sits. I can be in my car. It's not in a studio. It's not edited. It's raw video footage. Usually the Facebook Live and the YouTube Live get the most views. Let's see. Diana goes, I am new to video and most social media, so I'm really absorbing info like a sponge. Excellent. And you will put into practice. Excellent. I'm going to hold you to that, Deanna. I'm going to hold you to that, but I'm glad to hear that. Now, here are some ideas on types of videos to make. The About Me intro video or introduction to your team. That should be number one. Okay. Do that video. Obviously, listing videos, anything about the property, the virtual tours that you can make, the 3D tours, if you happen to have that type of camera or not, make sure you get those listing videos because this is what's going to help buyers make a decision of whether to buy a property. Because again, in our earlier stat from our first class, close to 80% of people made a purchase decision based on the video that they saw about that item. So make sure you do listing videos. If you're not doing them now and you're having a photographer take them, spend the extra couple of dollars because that's really going to affect that purchase. Client testimonials. This is how you start to build trust. It's not you saying this, it's other people saying this about you. So those of you closing escrow, hopefully soon, ask your client the day that you hand them their keys to speak and tell you and your audience what they thought about your services. And again, something like that's going to have so much more impact because they probably are going to say something that you did uniquely that you probably totally forgot about. Maybe they sit there in front of the camera. Thank you so much, Tony, for helping us buy our very first house. My wife and I and our 2 kids did not think that we would ever buy our dream home because my wife and I only have a 520 FICO score. Thank you for hooking us up with that great lender that you recommended. Because again, we never thought that we could ever afford buying a property here in California. Thank you. What does that do? If you saw something like that, doesn't that warm you up and think, geez, that person is on the ball? Now, I mentioned earlier, geez, somebody always says, well, what happens if somebody says something bad about you? Tony, you were horrible. I felt alone in the process. Number one, do you necessarily use that video in your marketing? Probably not. But let's think about that negative and twist it into a positive. Because a lot of times when you get feedback like that, what do we do with that feedback? Anybody? Do we ignore it? Hopefully not. What should we do from that feedback? We should grow from it. This is a great opportunity because they, number one, won't think that you will ever post a video like that, right? Even though they'll gripe and be mad that you didn't do something and they voiced that opinion, their very first thought is that agent's not going to post it. We'll post it. But this is a great opportunity that we do an apology video. Hey, Bob. Hey, Susan. I am so, thank you very much for your honest feedback. I am so sorry that your experience with me was so bad and terrible. Thank you very much for that information because I am going to use that information to grow. I promise you that will never happen to any other of my future clients ever again. And if you give me another chance when you resell this property, I would love that chance to show you that I have learned from this. And be sincere. Now, all of a sudden, that client may say, well, that seemed really sincere. Hopefully it was. Right? But I'm going to test them out. I'm going to refer them somebody just to see what my friends think. Because if it was just my experience and not theirs, then I can see, geez, maybe Tony is honest and is willing to grow from that experience. So take that negative video and turn it into a positive. Interview videos, not just of your clients, but your title, your lender, your escrow. But outside the real estate industry, interview people of the community. Interview the local businesses that have been hurting. Hi, anybody here during COVID discover a restaurant that was open that you never went to before? Anybody? And again, you can just raise your hand. Probably a couple of us. That little hole in the wall mom and pop that's probably been there for 20 years. This was a great opportunity for us to try it out. Well, guess what? Interview those local store owners, those businesses. They are going to love the free advertisement because they don't have to pay anybody. But are they going to be thankful that somebody is talking about their business to the community? Heck yeah. You go to the business owner. Hi, I'm a local real estate agent. I've eaten here once or twice, or I've used your dry cleaning service, or I'd like to talk and let people know that this store is here. Would you mind just, I want to give you a chance to plug that on my YouTube channel. They're going to be ecstatic about it. Local and community videos are important. People want to know what's going on in the community, how people are handling stuff. Market updates are always good. Special offers, usually maybe offered by the person that you're interviewing, right? John Smith of Dry Cleanings R Us says, geez, if you come in with your dry cleaning and you mention Anthony's name, I'll give you 10% off your bill. Who's not going to like saving money? Right? Or geez, if you mention Tony's name and you saw this video on his YouTube channel, I'll give you 50% off your meal with a purchase of another entree. Who wouldn't like that? Number one, gives that business, but it also ties you to that business and the community. Great special offers. Client process update videos. Now, this is going to be something specific to the client. Videos like this are going to be longer than 3 minutes. One of the most complaints by clients is they don't understand the process. They feel that their agent just lets them go after they open escrow. And that's a common complaint. Nobody explains to the client what actually goes into the process during the escrow, right? Like the inspection periods. What inspections can they do? What they should not be doing to affect their lending. And of course, what the escrow is going to need and the lender is going to need from that client. So this is a great video for client-specific needs. Explain to them that process. And of course, during the escrow process, what's happening in their escrow, especially if they happen to be on vacation. Maybe home buyer and seller advice videos. Basically, those are instructional videos. Your team culture, maybe an event. Again, going down to Lake Mission Viejo, you record an event. Remember how we also said, talk about yourself. It's okay. Your year in review. Thank the people that you worked with throughout the year, the clients that you worked with. And then maybe anybody here do listings? Anybody, been an agent for a while and you've done that pre-listing package? You kind of give them a pre-listing listing presentation, right? Soon, pretty new. Okay. Do a listing video instead. Talk about the process. Talk about your company. Talk about what you do. Do it all on video. Maybe you use Zoom, record your screen so you can explain stuff. Hey, we're going to meet tomorrow. And I just want to show you everything that I do for a client when I list a home. Doesn't have to be long, maybe 5-10 minutes, if that. Show them the property website you make and the type of marketing you do and things like that, and show some of those results. Because a lot of times that's hard to absorb when you're sitting down with a sheet of paper going over a listing presentation. By the way, are there any questions on any of these types of videos that you guys can record? No questions? Looks pretty good. All right. Now, the type of video that you're going to do is going to dictate how often you do them, right? That's going to affect your schedule. Like your year in review, guess how often you do that? Once a year. Market updates, maybe that's a monthly or quarterly. Community information, that should be your weekly or monthly videos. Client testimonial is your as needed, so on the fly, right? And of course, instruction videos should be at least monthly. Now, knowing the type of video you're going to make is going to help you plan your schedule. So put those reminders in your calendar. Again, your life revolves around your calendar. I don't know of any agent that doesn't leave home without their calendar with them at all times. Put it on your calendar. Now, the final part of the game plan is the meet and greet. This is where we get things done, right? Once you've made your connection and you've established it, it's now time to get that person offline and to get them face to face. Now, I know, again, with COVID, this is a bit of a challenge, but for the most part, you need to be able to still be face to face. This business is still a face to face business, regardless of what big tech companies say out there. Yes, big tech has made real estate buying and selling a little bit easier, but at the end of the day, it's still all about solidifying those friendships and those relationships. So, the end goal, we try to make and form these relationships. We're going to earn their connections by earning their trust and their respect, right? We're going to get other people to like us, view us, subscribe to us, and then ultimately we're going to meet up and close that deal, because at the end of the day, when we meet up and close the deal, what do we get in return as a reward? Commission, money, business, and a thriving business. Yes, money is a motivator, but that is not the end all and be all of this. That is the reward for earning these relationships. You're right, friendships. Now, there are things to remember. Be mindful of your MLS rules or regulations and code of ethics, right? You shall not do another video or do video work or take pictures of a property without the listing agent's permission. Okay. So if you're going to make video of another agent's listing, then you have to have it in writing. So no Facebook lives or YouTube lives without getting the listing agent or listing broker's permission. Technically, according to the listing agreement says that the listing broker and the listing agent are the people that are in charge and the only authorized people to take video or market the property. So this is what we need to be careful of. Also, code of ethics. We don't want to mislead anybody of the public. Article 12. So this is super important. Again, when we do get written permission, if we are doing a video of someone else's listing, you got to give them full credit. Got to say their name. You got to give the full property address and, of course, the brokerage that they're with. So be super, super careful of that. Okay. If you have permission from the seller in writing, do you need written authorization from the listing agent? The answer is yes. The seller has no right to tell you whether you can market their property. And technically, you can't market another agent's listing. That's solicitation. That's another code of ethics article you got to be careful of, Martha. If you're not getting the listing agent's permission because that property is already under contract, you are now undermining the listing agent, which now that's 4 other articles of that you're violation, which now makes the fines even higher and can get you suspended or your license suspended. So don't do it. Okay. What about video of a property I sold a year ago and it's not currently listed? Nope, you can't do that because, again, you're talking about somebody else's property that you don't have the right to talk about. If it's not under contract, why are you talking about the property? If you listed it a year ago, then you should have had a video done a year ago. But as it stands right now, if they're not selling it, don't give the impression that it's for sale. Again, that's all about misleading. So just be careful. If it's not under contract yet with you or the listing agent, then if it's not under contract with the listing agent, then why? Yeah. It's all about contracts. You got to have the right to represent the property for sale. If you're saying it's coming up for sale, you better have it under contract, because, again, even under coming soon says that the property is has the right to be represented by you and your brokerage. So just be super careful on that. Yeah, because not only is that an ethics and violation, you're talking about contractual stuff, and lawyers are having a field day right now suing agents for misrepresentation. So just be careful. Just be careful. Especially because if you're doing it something of another agent's listing, if you said something incorrect, now you've affected the ability to sell the home, which now the seller and the listing agent can come after you. And not only that, the seller can also go after the listing agent because, again, the listing agent is supposed to be in charge over what's being said about the property. So if you said something by mistake that was incorrect, you have now hindered the ability of that person of selling their home, which is a big, huge problem. All right. Any questions or any other questions? Awesome. All right. I do have a homework assignment. So consistency in social media. Again, this is a promise to yourself. Thank you, by the way, Robert. For your Facebook, write down some topics that you want to write about, talk about. Okay. Write down some of the videos you want to try to record. One of those should be your intro video. Take 5 minutes, write down a script. Okay. Write down what it is that you want to say, what you want to cover, and then record. And again, the biggest hindrance on recording, I know a lot of people go, I'm scared. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. I'm just nervous about it. We got to get over that. When it comes to camera work, I'm going to give you some advice. Okay. Don't think that you're talking to an audience. Think that you're talking to an individual. Okay. This video is for an individual. So when you say hi, this is Anthony, right? Think about yourself meeting somebody for the very first time at a property. Hi, my name's Anthony. Welcome. Right? Talk a little bit about yourself. It's okay. If you're going to talk about a property, remember you're talking to one individual, not millions or billions of people. If you can get that out of your head, that this camera is not an audience, it's an individual, that may help you relax a little bit. Now, everybody will start off the same way because I know I do, and I have a hang up when it comes to video. I can talk to you guys like this in a webinar, but when I'm trying to do my videos, I kind of do the same thing. I start to ridge up, right? I've seen agents for 2 minutes straight not take a breath and not even blink. And it's kind of interesting, right? That's okay. But the more you do it, it's again, like working out, the more you do it, the more consistently you get. By your 5th, 6th, 10th, 100th video, by your 100th video that you've done, you've got the way you want to talk to people. You'll probably even look at that very first video, laugh at yourself, right? Like, oh, geez, I can't believe I didn't breathe. I can't believe I wore that shirt. I can't believe I did my hair that way. How many ums can I say in 1 minute? Right? It's all about this being consistent. If you're in this class, that means that you're willing to try and do this. So that plan is to just do it. Be Nike, right? What's Nike's saying? Just do it. Just look at that camera. Now, by the way, when it comes to looking at the camera, if you're doing your cell phone, number one, have your phone like horizontal, not vertical. Horizontal, the bottom of the phone should be to your right-hand side. The camera that's facing you is on the left. Now, what we don't want to do when we're doing videos of ourselves is look at the screen. Part of connection is giving eye contact. So look at the camera to the left. So right now my camera is above on my computer, so I'm looking at you guys eye to eye. I have this bad habit of looking at the cameras over here to see my audience. So some of you probably aren't connecting with me. But if I'm looking at you here eye to eye, I see Robert, I see Deanna, I see Martha. And hopefully you guys are seeing me. So this is where we need to practice looking and talking. When we're talking about ourselves, we have our camera up, we have it just a little bit above nose level, but not so far up that we're looking like this, and not so far down that people see our double chins or what's in our nose. This is where having things like a stand comes in. Something for your cell phone to sit, properly set up right at your camera at just at eye or above eye level. Great way of being able to record your intro video or any how-to video where you're talking. Okay. Video editing software will allow you to slide in extra things that you don't have to be on camera for the full 2 or 3 minutes. It's okay. Your video topics that you want to record, post them. Schedule your Facebook posting, and of course your YouTube posting. As you complete your tasks, mark them off. And you'll be amazed how quickly and fast you mark these things off your checklist today. Are there any other questions, ladies and gents? Can you review again the phone placement? Sure. The phone placement, if you're going to hold up your phone, you want it horizontal. The bottom of the phone should be to the left-hand side of your screen, whereby the front-facing camera is to the left. Now, when you're recording the video, you want to look to your left at the camera itself. That way you have the eye contact that we were just talking about. Now, holding your phone at eye level is okay, but I would recommend just slightly above eye level. That way, what you don't want is the camera down below eye level, because now they see maybe your chin or you're underneath your chin. And if you're like me, you kind of got that little devil chin, but worst yet, what's up your nose? I can't tell you how many times I've seen videos by just even other trainers that they have something just hanging out of their nose. And that's just super distracting in a video, right? If they had that camera just elevated just slightly above their nose, you would never see anything there. Hopefully, anyway. So hopefully that helped. Did that help, Martha? And a stand like that, just a couple of dollars off of Amazon. You'd be amazed. I think you can pick one up for $5 that fits your phone. And again, if you buy a bundle, it's usually got a microphone, the stand, whatever other fun little things, a nice little a light ring that you can put on your phone to give you, some nice visual. So I'm going to hold my camera horizontal, where the bottom of the phone is to the right, the camera is to the left. Okay. So the camera is to the left. And when I talk, the camera is going to be just slightly above eye level. And I'm going to look to the left at the camera that's at the top of the phone. If I have it this way, it's kind of hard to see myself, but don't look at your screen. Look at the camera, especially when you're doing that intro video. Does that help, Martha? Tilted head to the left. No, you don't have to tilt your head. You don't have to move your head like this. It's just a matter of switching your eyes, right? So right now I'm looking straight, but I'm looking right at you. And all I did was just lift my eyes. I don't have to do this. If you do this, what do they see? Up my nose. If I do this, I've got the phone way over here, right? That camera is not too far off the center of the phone. So it's just a matter of switching where your eyes are looking. That's all. Did that help, Martha? Good. You're welcome. Are there any other questions, ladies and gents? Again, we are recording today's video. I want to thank everybody for today. If you do have any questions, please feel free to call me or email me. My phone number is 949-586-6800. My extension is 104, or feel free to email me at Tony, Tony, at ocar.org. You're welcome, Amin. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I totally appreciate that. I'm glad that you learned a lot. Hopefully, try some of these tools out. If you want, I do have a YouTube channel. So on YouTube, just go to YouTube, under search, type in my name. My name is Tony, Tony. My last name is spelled Brie as in elephant, D as in David. From here, there you see my picture, you see my name, just simply click on my name, and then go to my video list, and here you can access all my training videos, my pre-recorded webinars, some how-to videos. So would love for you to watch these. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. But if you do make a video channel, reach out to me and I will be more than happy to subscribe to your channel. So I'd love to see what type of videos agents are doing. So that'll be fun. Can I call you sometime in the future? Of course, I'm in. Again, 949-586-6800, extension 104. Definitely. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody again for today. I hope you all enjoyed today. And again, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. Again, Tony at OC Realtors or ocar.org, ocar.org, or 586-6800, extension 104. I hope you all have a great and wonderful day. Have fun making videos and social media, and I will talk to you all really, really soon. Bye-bye.